Michael Schwartz from Valley of the Suns coming to you live Monday night after the Phoenix Suns defeated the San Antonio Spurs 111 to 102 in Game 1 of their Western Conference semifinal series. Now, it was absolutely critical for the Suns to win this Game 1 because they've never beaten the San Antonio Spurs in a series in which they dropped Game 1. And we remember earlier this decade the painful Game 1 loss in 2005, then the literally painful Game 1 loss in '07 when Nash had the whole nose gate, couldn't stop the bleeding. And then, of course, in 2008, the series was essentially lost in Game 1 when Tim Duncan hit that crazy three to tie in overtime. Now, how did the Suns get this victory tonight? You know, it all started with Steve Nash. He had 17 points in the first quarter, 4 layups in the early going, blowing past George Hill. He really set the tone for this game, ended up going for 33 points in all, and really controlled this basketball game, both with his scoring and then eventually with his assists. I mean, I've never seen Nash come out striking like he did in that first quarter. He normally kind of lets the game come to him, try to get his teammates involved. It's not surprising to see him rack up something like 6 or 7 assists in a first quarter. Tonight he only had 3. Instead, he was looking for a shot, and I think that just showed you how much he really wants to win this series. Steve Nash is 0-6 in his career against San Antonio, 0-4 with the Suns, and then a couple losses with the Dallas Mavericks. He really wants to win this series, and I think we saw that tonight. Both teams' big three were on display. For the Suns all season, it's kind of been a balanced effort. Tonight, it wasn't the case. Tonight, you had Nash and then Amari and Jason Richardson combining for 83 points, 22 boards, and 10 assists. San Antonio's big three of Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker went for 73 points, 18 rebounds, and 12 assists. Nobody else in the game scored in double figures at all, which is really surprising with some of the good supporting cast members. So you see the Suns really did a great job of shutting down everybody else, let the stars get theirs. San Antonio did that to some extent the same, but the Suns' big three were just a little bit better. Now, after the game, Steve Nash had this to say regarding Game 1. He said, "We did our job in Game 1, but we've got to have a better performance in Game 2. They're going to come out extremely desperate in Game 2, and we've got to match it." I absolutely agree with that. In the Portland series, we saw that the more desperate team, the team that really needed to get the win, often did. Going down 0-2, it's really tough to come back. It's happened before, obviously, but the San Antonio Spurs are right back in the series if they win Game 2, arguably in a better position because they'll have home court advantage back. But so the Suns just need to come out and match that desperation, take it as a desperation game for your team as well, because if the Suns go up 2-0, I really wouldn't be surprised if this series ends in 5 games, because I really do feel like they're going to split in San Antonio. But in any case, just a great night for the Phoenix Suns tonight. They finally got a Game 1 victory against the Spurs, really set the tone for the series, and it all started with Steve Nash. What a great performance. We're only a couple hours away, depending on when you're watching this, from Game 2. It's going to be quite the showdown. I certainly look forward to it, and I'm sure you do as well. Signing off for Valley of the Suns, I'm Michael Schwartz.